Russia is saying that Syrian leaders are taking some steps to keep the government's chemical weapons from falling into what Moscow calls the wrong hands. Although the Assad regime denies possessing chemical weapons, Russia says Syrian officials are doing all they can to consolidate and safeguard the stockpiles. This all happens as fighting continues to rage across Syria's capital. At least 5 people were killed in a car bombing in a northern Damascus neighborhood.
Chaos and devastation after a car bomb exploded in Damascus Saturday. The blast struck the eastern neighborhood of Kobun, where the car bomb ripped through the marketplace. Right after the attack, bodies were dragged out from the debris and carried away by civilians. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights also reported clashes in the southern Damascus neighborhood of Hajar al-Aswad, where rebels are fighting to overthrow the Syrian president. The district is next to the Palestinian refugee camp of Yarmouk, which was taken over by rebels earlier this week. The British-based observatory monitors violence across Syria through a network of sources on the ground. Meanwhile, in Moscow, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov declared that neither side could win the civil war in Syria. He also said his country and China would not be able to convince Bashar al-Assad to resign.
But Sergei Lavrov added that Moscow will not give him shelter if he steps down. Lavrov also says that Syria is moving its chemical weapons to keep them safe. The United States has said Syria is readying its weapons and could be desperate to use them. Inside Syria, activists say the army has shelled several districts in the capital, and an armed group in Aleppo says it's preparing to impose a no-fly zone over the city.
We have intelligence proving that the regime is using commercial flights to transport its troops and military gear to murder unarmed Syrian people. We issue this warning to all civilians to refrain from using commercial planes to avoid being used by the regime as human shields. Any plane in the sky will be targeted by anti-craft missiles, as we have imposed a no-fly zone in this province. This will come into effect within 3 days.